Few journeys in Laos feel as raw, adventurous or unforgettable as the Thakhek Loop. Join me as we wind through some of Southeast Asia's most spectacular landscapes and one of the best travel experiences in Laos. I arrive in Laos searching for adventure after finishing months of cancer treatment. I'm unsure how much my body will allow me to do, but I'm determined to try anyway. After being picked up by my driver in Vientiane, we begin the long journey south, following the mighty Mekong River. We pass through rural villages, broken occasionally by roadside markets, wandering cattle, and limestone mountains rising dramatically in the distance. Eventually, we arrive at Thakhek, a laid-back riverside town that serves as the gateway to the famous Thakhek Loop. The Thakhek Loop requires planning, patience and energy. Many travellers tackle the route independently on motorbikes, with backpacks strapped to the rear of dusty scooters as they navigate the winding mountain roads. But I chose a slower, more comfortable option, travelling the loop by four-wheel drive with a local driver and guide. And honestly, for this trip, it was absolutely the right decision. As the sun sets over the Mekong, there's a sense of anticipation in the air. Tomorrow, the loop begins. Early the next morning, my driver arrives and we head east out of town towards what the locals call Cave Alley. About 15 minutes outside of Thakhek, we leave the main road and follow a dusty track towards our first stop. Elephant Cave is small, peaceful and deeply spiritual. Unlike some of the larger cave systems on the loop, this cave isn't about grand scale or adventure. Instead, it's a quiet place of worship, filled with Buddhist shrines tucked into rocky chambers. The cave gets its name from a rocky formation that resembles the shape of an elephant's head, something the locals have recognised for generations. It's a quick stop here, but one that gives you an immediate sense that this journey is far more than just the landscapes alone. A short drive further east brings us to the Liap cave, and suddenly the atmosphere changes completely. This cave feels wild, untouched, and more like an expedition than a tourist attraction. During the dry season, visitors can walk directly into sections of the cave itself. During the wet season, rising water transforms the cave into a boat-only experience. There's very little infrastructure here, and honestly, that's what makes it feel so special. After the caves, the pace slows again at Thafalang. This peaceful riverside spot is where the locals come to escape the heat. Families gather beneath bamboo shelters, children swim in the river, and groups share food while music drifts softly through the trees. There's no major attraction here, and that's the beauty of it. Sometimes travel isn't about rushing between landmarks. Sometimes it's simply about sitting quietly beside a river in Laos, watching local life unfold around you. For me, this stop became an important reminder to slow down and conserve my energy for the days ahead. One of my most favourite caves, just 16 kilometres east of Thakhek, along Highway 12, is one of the newest highlights of the Thakhek Loop, is Suam Cave, or New Cave. Until recently, exploring this cave was a real adventure. The only way to reach the far end was with a local guide and a 400-metre swim through the cave itself. After a major redevelopment and 2 years closure, the cave reopened in 2025 with a spectacular new steel walkway. As soon as I stepped inside, the temperature dropped and the cave opened up into a stunning underground world. The elevated walkway follows a crystal clear spring-fed stream offering incredible views of illuminated limestone formations reflected in the water. What makes Suam Cave special is that it combines accessibility with adventure. You can now experience the scale and beauty of this remarkable cave without needing any special equipment or swimming skills. If you're visiting Thakhek or planning a drive to Thakhek Loop, this is one stop that should not be missed. Tham Nang Aen Cave feels enormous and cinematic. This is one of the most impressive caves on the entire Thakhek Loop, and the scale inside is incredible. Elevated walkways guide visitors deep underground through towering limestone chambers illuminated by coloured lights. In the wet season, underground rivers flow through sections of the cave, and visitors can explore parts of it by boat. Locals continue to visit for meditation and quiet reflection, and you can immediately feel the respect people have for this place. I could have spent hours here just sitting quietly, listening to the echo of dripping water disappearing into the darkness. That evening we arrive at the Nakai Resort. Set amongst the forests and mountains near Nakai Plateau, the resort feels wonderfully isolated from the outside world. The property has long been associated with visiting officials and diplomats connected to the region's development. After a physically demanding first day, the calm atmosphere here was exactly what I needed. The next morning begins slowly and thankfully with strong coffee. Our first stop is a small cafe overlooking lush green rice fields. Even in the dry season, the landscape here feels vibrant and alive. After enough espresso to wake the dead, we continue deeper into central Laos. Sa Waterfall isn't the largest waterfall you'll ever see, but it is a refreshing stop along the journey. After a rugged walk through the forest, you're led to cool flowing water surrounded by dense jungle. During the wet season, the falls become far more dramatic, but even in these dry conditions, it's a pleasant place to stop, stretch your legs and cool down from the heat. Further along the highway, something unexpected appears beside the road. Sandstone Buddhas sculptures carved directly into the rock face. These roadside carvings feel deeply connected to the spiritual identity of Laos. Quiet, humble and timeless. Drivers slow as they pass, locals leave offerings nearby, and for a few moments the road trip pauses for reflection. After a fairly long and somewhat uneventful drive, we finally arrive at one of my personal highlights of the entire Thakhek Loop, the cool spring pool. Crystal clear, fresh water pours directly from the mountains into an icy natural swimming pool surrounded by jungle. The water is unbelievably clear. Looking down, you can see every stone beneath the surface. We ended up staying nearly 2 hours here, floating silently in the freezing mountain water while surrounded by limestone cliffs, and the forest felt incredibly therapeutic. Later that day, we continued southwest towards what many consider the ultimate highlight of the Thakhek Loop, Konglor Cave. And believe me, nothing prepares you for this place. Konglor Cave is absolutely enormous, a 7-kilometre underground river that cuts directly through the mountain, and the only way through it is by a small wooden boat. As the engine starts and darkness swallows the entrance behind you, the scale of the cave becomes impossible to comprehend. Towering cavern walls disappear into the blackness above. Ed torches reveal massive rock formations emerging from the darkness like ancient monuments hidden beneath the earth. At times it genuinely feels like you've entered another world, something lost in time, something untouched. On the far side of the cave, a tiny village waits quietly amongst the mountains, isolated and peaceful. The entire experience feels almost dreamlike, and without question unforgettable. That evening, we stayed at Konglor Resort, a welcoming, family-run property surrounded by limestone mountains. After 2 physically demanding days, the warmth of the people here made a huge difference. The food here was simple but excellent, the atmosphere was relaxed, and the slower pace of village life felt incredibly comforting. It's places like this that make travel in Asia feel so special. Not luxury, not big attractions, but genuine kindness and simplicity. The next morning, after a solid breakfast and once again a significant amount of coffee, we begin our final stage of the loop, towards the rock viewpoint. Perched high in the mountains, the viewpoint offers stunning views across central Laos. The site is also famous for the zip line and adventure course suspended high above the karst landscape. Normally it is exactly the type of activity I love, but this time, physically, I simply wasn't capable of doing it. That was difficult to accept. So instead, I sat quietly with a coffee, overlooking the mountains and simply appreciating being there at all. And honestly, that moment may have been just as meaningful as any adventure activity could have ever been. I know I didn't experience the Thakhek Loop the same way many travellers do. I couldn't hike every trail, swim every river, or take part in every adventure on offer. But maybe that's exactly why this journey matters so much to me. If you ever visit Laos, I genuinely believe that this journey is worth serious consideration. Just remember to travel at your own pace. The experience isn't about how fast you complete the loop. It's about what you take away from it. If you enjoyed this journey and want to see more travel content like it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check the description for helpful travel planning links and resources. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe and happy travels.